Now, and we're going to show you how that works by making this shed appear to defy gravity. Now, earlier, this is what happened when we lifted it by one cable. So you see that it sort of tips over. It's not particularly stable. Gyros act to stay stable and prevent that. We'll actually see that from Tim a little later on. He's going to demonstrate that. But also what you can do with those gyros is you can move them, and you can essentially trade the spin of the space station for the spin of the gyros. So that whole control mechanism, which is based on that physics, the physics of the scenes at the astronaut training centre.
And she's not alone. Joining her for the next 3 days as her human guinea pig is wannabe astronaut John Bishop.
You're so full of glee.
I'm just loving what we're putting him through for the next 3 days. Because John might be best known for stand-up comedy, but he's also a keen astronomer, old friend of the show, and he's pretty fit and intrepid as well. But with a bit of luck, Liz should be about ready.
Get ready. Good luck. See you on the other side. Now, with us, of course, is LIVE S06. He is going to be John's instructor. He's going to supervise the entire procedure. It's good to have you with us. Now, John has to basically practice what astronauts do when they're translating, moving along the ISS with handrails. He's also going to have to move one tool from one place to another. It seems pretty straightforward, LV, but how complex can it get?
It's actually
that wouldn't be good.
So, for the safety reason, I have to be in contact with the station at 2 different points.
Yes. Always two?
Always two. So
okay.
The first point is this. We call this a safety tether. It's a reel with a safety line attached to the airlock.
Yes. So much more. So again, the light and dark regions, so we were right, so that's great. But so much more geology in this. I mean, just...
and varied geology as well.
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, we didn't even really realise how active Pluto was, how varied the geology would be, and so that's been just phenomenal.
So this heart, it's become very famous, this heart-shaped structure, smooth structure. So what is
a volcano? So the reason we think that is because it's a mountain with a hole in the middle, and in terms of geology, that's difficult to explain if it's not a volcano. But we don't think it's active, so we think it's probably extinct. We don't see plumes.
And you said cryovolcanoes. So it's not a volcano that spews lava, it's a volcano that throws out
ice. So there's not a lot of rock on Pluto, as we talked about. So we think this must have erupted.
Is where Pluto came from and how it ended up where it is. So we're only just beginning to understand how solar systems form. So did planets in our solar system form in the order we see them orbit today? Or did they start off in different orbits? Well, one recent discovery may shed some light on that. It's not hard to see why Hawaii is viewed as a...
get to see a view of Tim Peake as he hurtles overhead. But once we move forward to tomorrow night, there's no disguising the fact that we've got another area of low pressure throwing weather fronts across many parts of the British Isles with cloud, wind, rain and some snow. It'll only be the northern part of Scotland that are likely to see any chance at all of half-decent viewing conditions.
This is in on itself. You get something about the size of a city, 20 kilometres across, but weighing about 1.5 times as much as the sun. All that packed into that small area. It spins, it's got beams of radio waves that come out from the poles, and so it's like a lighthouse as it spins. Those beams sweep past and you get...
So that will work. Takes about 1.5 minutes to learn how to recognise a pulsar in this data. You're looking for these repeated blips, which we've shown on the site. If you find one, you just click a button, that will go through, and we even hope to follow up the discoveries using a nearby radio
telescope. Only we had one.
Only so we had a massive radio telescope that we could get. So we can do that. We find that you'll...
That's what we're going to do. So hopefully there'll be people for 18 months on a transit to Mars.
Was there anything about this experience that the training didn't prepare you for? And I suppose a supplementary question, really, was it worth it?
Well, I'm going to answer the second part of the question first. Absolutely a resounding yes. It has far exceeded my expectations, this whole experience. And I think that it was hard for me to kind of orient myself. And also, obviously, planets rising. Jupiter is incredibly bright, so much brighter up here on the space station than from planet Earth.
Tim, we're nearly out of time, but to finish, do you have any message you'd like to give to the stargazing audience from the space station?
My message really is just to say a huge thank you to everybody. I've been so overwhelmed by the support that I've had from everybody in the UK, and you know, Stargazing Live has always been a real favourite show of mine. I've always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed looking up to the stars, wondering about the universe and our place in the universe. And obviously, I'm sure everybody who watches the show has the same thoughts and feelings. So just a large thank you, really, to everybody back home.
Tim, it's been an absolute pleasure and a privilege to talk to you as you go on your journey. We will be watching you on Friday as you perform your first spacewalk. The best of luck with that from everyone here on Earth.
Many thanks indeed. It's been great talking to you. Bye-bye.
Because I felt I had the right to speak on behalf of everyone on Earth. When I...
Talking thing. But, as you say, I'm in two places where I'm locked up. If I'm going to remove that, then I'll reduce one of my places. So I have to find another option, which is difficult because all your visibility goes. My range of vision is just here, and everything I need to work with is below me. And so you have to feel where all your tools are, with hands.
Really?
Universe, yeah, I bruised my ribs.
Yes, because it is a difficult thing, the spacewalk. The only thing in keeping you safe in the spacewalk, obviously, is your space suit, a fantastically complicated piece of equipment and definitely not designed for comfort. That's a problem that's proved a tough one to crack right since the earliest days of space exploration. The spacesuit. Much more than just a natty piece of sci-fi fancy dress. Each outfit
is dressed in, I would call this a conceptual version of what a biosuit would look like. You can obviously see it's skin tight.
Yes, the first human to visit Mars could be dressed head to toe in spandex.
So a little smidgen of what it must be like in real life to be up there.
You're our hero. I'm so proud of you. Tomorrow, we're going to put you through your paces with a reduced oxygen supply and giving you tiny little electric shocks. Are you still willing to continue your astronaut